first round of UAAP men's basketball action is now on its final stretch. Season 82 has been action-packed, and most of the games have been ridiculously close, like really close. Now, what can we expect, or can we expect more of the same as we approach the second round? And joining me right now in the studio is none other than Sports' basketball analyst, very busy, Mikey Reyes. Good morning, Mike. So, welcome back to the morning.
Good morning, Andre. Glad to be back here.
Glad to see you. You've been covering a lot of games, my friend. UAAP, NCAA. Very, very busy. Okay, Mike's 1 week na lang, di ba? Left sa round 1 ng season 82 sa basketball. How would you describe season 82 in the UAAP so far?
Well, the word you used earlier, ridiculous. It's been crazy. I think this is the first, it was the first weekend that passed that without a 1-point game difference between two teams. And, you know, games have been close. All teams have been... This is the most competitive season we've seen in recent years, and just the balance between the teams, even the lower-seeded NU Bulldogs, well, the lowest-seeded NU Bulldogs could have been, you know, 4-1 right now, if not
easily. Right? Yeah.
So it's been crazy and it's exciting.
And it's been trending also, and you know, fans reacting on social media, even to your tweets and to the plays. Yes. But did you expect this season to be like this? Yung ganto ka-exciting?
Well, the one thing that I was expecting, or the one thing that's happening right now that I was expecting before the season was Ateneo's dominance. Other than that, I didn't know it was going to be this balanced, this competitive. UE got that first win last week, even though they've been struggling, but you know, they give everyone a run for their money. They make everyone work. All the teams, they make everyone challenge. They challenge each other. They compete with each other. Yeah. So all the games are for sure entertaining this year.
How about the underperforming team, so to speak? Kumbaga yung sabi mo nga, may full potential. Yeah. Is it NU? Kasi yun yung easily dapat 4-1, but now they're 0-5. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. 0-5.
This isn't even a knock on NU. Yes, they're underperforming because right now, 3 games decided by 1 point. They lost to Adamson by that 3-point shot by Lenda Duanga. They lost to Kurt Lohera's jumper from the baseline. They lose to UP by 1 also. They were actually down by 4. Then David Defonso had that big 3, cut it down to a single point. Then they get the stop, but John Lloyd Clemente failed to make the winning basket. And then they lose to UST in overtime. But that was only because Chabio had that last-second shot that sent the game to overtime. And these three losses against Adamson, LaSalle, and UST, they had the lead. It was David Defonso giving them the lead. It was Shanil Defonso giving them the lead against DLSU. And then against UST, it was Enzo Hoston giving them the lead. So it was those last-second shots that they had to defend, that they failed to defend. Kaya sila nahabol doon, kaya sila natalo. Yesterday, they lost to Ateneo. It was 71-50, but you can give that an excuse.
Kasi yun na yung parang hindi close na,
Kumbaga yun yung, kumbaga talaga Ateneo you have. But easily, they could have been 4-1, or at least 3-2, giving, they were down by 4 against UP. But the thing with NU is, yes, they have the offense. David Defonso is there leading the team. Number 4 in the league in terms of points, 17.6 points a game. Shanil Defonso has emerged as their second option in their offense with 12.4 points per game. But they haven't played defense. No defense at all from the side of NU. Surprisingly, Coach Jamai Karin, Ateneo High School days pala.
Yeah. He preaches defense.
He's a defensive-minded coach, and they have played no defense whatsoever this season so far. Points allowed, number 7 in the league. They allow 81 points a game. Wow. And that's a lot for college basketball for 40 minutes. 81 points a game. Number 8 in field goal percentage allowed. Number 8 in 3-point field goal percentage allowed. They're number 7 in perimeter points allowed, and points in the paint allowed, number 7. So they let the shooter score, they let the inside establish themselves down low. Also number 7 in rebounds allowed, they're number 8 in rebounds.
Wow.
Number 7 in assists allowed, and they're 8 in assists. So the NU Bulldogs, even though they're struggling, they're losing by 1 point. If they play just a little bit better on the defensive end, iba pa. So it's not a knock on NU. It's more of a wake-up call that, yo, we're losing by this much lang. If we can play like better defense, even just down the stretch, then they have a big chance of turning this whole season around.
Mikey, you've been in this position as a player, or coming from a player's perspective. Diba, you've played for the UP Fighting Maroons. And then...
From what I remember, I did.
And losing ano yun eh, yung mga diba, losing seasons. So, ngayon, how do like the Ildefonso brothers, John Lloyd Clemente, these guys have been playing their hearts out. As a player, going through, like what you said, pwede naman yung NU sana ngayon 4-1 eh, but they're in 0-5. How do you maintain, or keep, you know, be focused at the same time, hindi ka mawalan ng loob?
Well, not really. It's really not thinking about the record right now. Yes, they're 0-5. They have 9 games left in the season, 2 games left in the first round. It's really just controlling what you can control. Because yes, breaks of the game went the other way. They didn't go your way at the end of the game. But the thing is, defense is within your control. Pwede kang malasin sa opensa, but defense right there. That's what Coach Jamaic always preaches. Walang mala sa depensa, walang off day sa depensa. So what can we control? The defensive end. Then let our offense take care of itself. And you lose by 1 point every time. So just one more stop and you get the win. So if they can play just a little bit better defense, they can go to the middle of the pack in terms of defense, then they will get their wins for
Kasi
sure.
kaya naman nila makipagsabayan.
Kaya nila sa
ibang teams.
opensa.
Diba? Sa opensa.
Depensa na lang.
You're right. Now let's take a look at the team standings, Mikey. We have, we're going to show our viewers also the updated team standings in UAAP Season 82. Here it is. Mikes, if you take a look at the team standings, you're not surprised Ateneo is right there up top, right?
For sure.
But any surprise for you? May mga ano ka ba yung kumbaga surprising team?
Well, right now, obviously Ateneo Blue Eagles, followed by the UP Fighting Marines, both the finalists last season, and both with all the hype in the world entering this season. I'm surprised with the UST Growling Tigers just
Why?
because of how. Talking about the UST Growling Tigers, all right, so they had convincing wins against FEU. They had a convincing win against the UP Fighting Maroons, last year's finalists. And then against Ateneo, they lose by 1 against the defending champions. Against NU, they win another convincing one and descending it in overtime, they get that win. Yesterday, they won against FEU convincingly. The one game that medyo nakita natin yung chink dun sa armor ng UST Growling Tigers was when they were up by 9 with 3 minutes to go against Adamson. And then Adamson just went on a 16-0 run, which left Coach Alden Ay and the rest of the Growling Tigers shocked that they lose by 7 after leading by 9. With 3 minutes left. But we have to remember, yes, they have a Renzo Zubido, they have a CJ Cancino, they have a Brent Paraiso, guys who've been under the bright lights of the UAAP. But we have to remember how young this team is. 3 of their top leading scorers are rookies. Abando, Soliman Chabio, the by far leading MVP contender right now, with 20 and 15, and then Mark Nonoy. Those 3 guys are leading the team in points per game. So these are new guys, and these are young guys. So you can give them that pass na medyo na ano sila, na talisod sila ng kalaban nila Adamson. And when you talk about firepower, this is the team right here. Number 1 in points, 81 points, 67 points a game.
Wow.
The number 2 team is Adamson, and they're above by 7 points. All right? Number 1, in terms of shooting the 3 ball, they have 65 threes already this season. Second to them is Adamson with 44. So that's 21 more three-pointers.
Yeah.
So the difference between the three-pointers and the offense of this team, number 1 in perimeter points, number 1 second chance points, and number 1 made and attempted. So you see the aggressiveness, you see how Coach Alden Ayo maximizes these players. So for sure, UST is surprising to me with all the youth in that team. Adamson Soaring Falcons, you know, last season, sorry exit, lost twice to the UP Fighting Maroons, but they're competing. FEU Tamarao, somewhat rebuilding with Coach Olsen.
Dito ako nagulat, Mike. Sorry to cut you, but De La Salle Green Archers were always, di ba, sanay tayo na makita pag sabi mo La Salle, nasa upper echelon niya ng team standings. What's going on with the De La Salle Green Archers? Currently, 2 and 3 right now. Yeah.
Actually, hiyang-hiya nga ako sa kanila because the first 3 games that I covered, the first 2 were with them, and they lose both games, but on Saturday, they got that big win against the Adamson Soaring Falcons. But with the Green Archers right now, I think it's just the lack of chemistry right now and the lack of roles, because we all know what Aljon Melesio can do, what Baltazar can do, what Justin Baltazar can do, what Andre Caracot can do.
Yeah.
Those 3 guys, alam na natin yan eh. Memorize na natin yan. But it's the one-and-done players that come in. Yes, they have the talent. But of course, they come in 2 months before the season. They never played a single tournament with the team. They played a pocket tournament in Davao, I believe. So the chemistry it's a work in progress. But when you see the full potential of this team, we know why we expected them to be higher than this. So that's pretty surprising with the DLSU Green Archers. The Red Warriors right now at 1 and 4. They lost big against UP. UP held suerte. Tumalas for only good for 4 points, and then again the NU Bulldogs at 0 and 5.
How about underperforming players, Max?
Well, underperforming players.
player.
Well,
Yeah.
like what we were talking about with the LaSalle Green Archers. They have 3 one-and-done players. They have Jamie Malonzo, who has been lights out for LaSalle, the most consistent player from LaSalle, aside from this guy, Justin Baltazar. But, you know, entering the season, we talk about the one-and-done players. We have 7 one-and-done players throughout the league. 3 are coming from LaSalle. James Laput, Division II from Young Harris College. I was excited that he came in. He got in the team because it gives Justin Baltazar the space to consistently play the 4. He doesn't have to bang bodies with the big guys. He doesn't have to carry the load of defending
The foreign players.
the foreign players. But James Lapwood comes in, 3 points a game, 2.6 rebounds a game in only 8 minutes. So he only plays 8 minutes a game. So that's, and then Brandon Bates plays 17 minutes a game. So there's still a little window that Baltazar needs to play the 5. Siyempre nakakapagod yun for Justin Baltazar. You would want him to, you know, not really relax, but have the energy to play offense and then not really get beaten down on defense. And then Keyshawn Meeker also. Keyshawn Meeker averaging 2 points a game, 1.5 assists a game in 11 minutes per contest. And he played 4 years in Illinois State. So he averaged 8.5 points in Illinois State, averaged 2.3 assists. I'm not saying okay lang, they're adjusting. But the thing is, they're one-and-done players. So you expect a little bit more from them.
Of course,
And
yeah.
also, especially for Keyshawn Meeker, you're coming in a team with an Aljun Melesio, an Andre Carakot, an Encho Serrano, a Maymay Kagulangan, and a Jordan Bartlett. These 5 guys, we've seen them play Filipino basketball. Aljun Melesio went from 30 minutes a ball game, now down to 25 minutes a ball game. So medyo na-apektuhan. For sure, Aljun Melesio is a volume shooter. We all know that. Andre Carakot has been struggling, except this last game where he exploded.
Yeah.
Encho Serrano, 14 minutes a game last season, 16 lang ngayon. So that's just 2 minutes more than last season. And we're always waiting for Encho Serrano to break out. May Kagulangan also, former champion with the LaSalle Green Hills. Ngayon, hindi pa rin nabibigyan ng break. Also Jordan Bartlett. So these guys, I'm going to give Keyshawn Meeker the pass na adjusting siya with the chemistry and also the Filipino brand of basketball. But you're a one-and-done player. So we expect a lot more from these 2 guys.
That's right. Okay, how about surprising? Because I heard you're really impressed and surprised with Val Chauca.
I am. Surprising
Yeah.
players, yeah. I'm gonna get hated on because I didn't give love to Chabio, Suerte, and Paras. These 3 leading scorers of the whole league are all rookies.
Even Abando.
Even Abando. These guys, they're gonna hate me for this. But these guys coming into the season, medyo in-expect na natin. So, I mean, Chabio, obviously, an import. Ray Suerte, alam na natin, 2 times sa SAFE MVP. Kobe Paras, obviously. Even Abando, in the off-season, nakilala na yan kasi nagpakita sa D-League, nagpakita sa Philoen. But Val Chauca, just a month before the season, and Coach Franz makes a big move, acquires Val Chauca, in which all we know from Val Chauca is we played for Enduran. He actually was my guest in an online show that I host, na hindi ko pa siya kilala noon. I'm like, who's this guy? Diba?
Yeah.
But this season, leading Adamson in terms of points, the second offensive team in the league. He's the leader. 16 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, and 4 assists in 25 minutes of action.
Galing.
A game. Even in that first game, he only played a few minutes. He only played 18 minutes.
Yeah.
But he had 17 points against the defending champions, in which he scored 29 points when they went up against in the preseason. And he has been lights out. He has been consistent. Against UE, 13 points. NU, 13 points. Against UP, even though they lost, 21 points against last year's finalist. Against UE, 18 points, 12 in the 4th, and 7 in that 16-0 run to get that win. Also against the Alessio, although they lost 13 points for assists. So Coach Franz Pomarn has given the keys to Val Chauca, and I'm only saying he's the most surprising player because we did not expect. We didn't even know Val Chauca before this season.
Mikey, 21 games played so far in the UAAP. For you, what is the game of the season so far?
Well, with all the hype that surrounded it before the game, it was the UP Adamson game. No bias because I was there last season when UP got that their first ticket, or our first ticket to the
Final
finals
Four.
in so many years. So the hype surrounding that game, and everyone was just anticipating the outcome.
Final Four rematch.
And it did not disappoint. Like, it did not disappoint. It went to overtime. It was actually a close game. It was actually an Adamson game the whole first half, but that big 27-9 third quarter just gave UP life, which what they've been doing even last year when Adamson would make those big runs. UP just found ways to counter those. So they made a game out of it. They entered the 4th period with a 2-point lead. They went into overtime. Again, it was an Adamson overtime period in the start, but it was that 8-0 run to finish the game off, capped off by those Bright Akweti free throws, the game-winning free throws that gave UP the win. But, you know, it didn't disappoint. The hype was real. And it's going to be exciting for round 2 of UP Adamson.
Can I just bring back, I remember this game because you particularly tweeted the where's the fight in UP. And then they brought it out in the second
That's
half.
what I was saying in the first half, where that's where I miss, or I'm sure not just me, but that's where I miss Paul Desiderio, Diego Dario. Those guys knew how it felt like to play on when you're at the bottom of the cellar with nothing to lose. Then I was proudly proven wrong. I was proudly eating my words in the second half because, again, that big run, it made a game of that outing, and they got the win. So, and since then, they're currently on a 3-game winning streak. So the UP Fighting Maroons are looking very good right now.
How about the runner-up game for this season?
Well, I actually covered this game. This is my first game of the season as an analyst.
This is the UE LaSalle game?
LaSalle game.
The Suerte game?
Suerte game. It was UE the first half because they were looking for their first win. So the sense of urgency was there. And then in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, that's when Encho Serrano, Aljon Melesio made their run. Aljon Melesio broke out in this game, 21 points, but 29 points coming from Ray Suerte. It was an old classic mano-a-mano showdown shootout in the final minute. Ray Suerte hitting a 3, giving them the lead. Aljon Melesio getting the lead back. And then Ray Suerte finishes off with the 3. Nagmintis lang si Aljon to sa susunod na possession. He had that shot. He had that chance. But yeah, it was where Ray Suerte got his first victim. He has been playing very, very well. He was #1 in the league in scoring before that game. But after that game, Ray Suerte has officially arrived here in the UAAP.
He also arrived here. He also guested
I saw that.
after that game. Okay, Mikey, give me your final 4 teams so far in UAAP Season 82.
For the season, I went with Ateneo, UP.
In this order.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went with Ateneo, UP, Adamson, and LaSalle.
Adamson
and LaSalle.
and LaSalle.
That's what I went with before the season.
Before the season.
But now after 6 games, I gotta go with UST instead of LaSalle.
So it's still the same 3.
Ateneo,
So the Ateneo Blue Eagles,
UP Fighting
the UP Fighting Maroons,
I have to go with UST after them.
the UST Growling Tigers,
And then the
Adamson Soaring Falcons.
So I have to go to because, you know, Ateneo, obviously, I still believe Ateneo has a shot of sweeping the whole elimination round, but that's just me. What do I know? UP, obviously, they're finding their groove, they're finding their rhythm right now, and their confidence and the chemistry is looking good really for UP. So there's really nowhere to go there for UP but to sustain that for them. The Adamson Soaring Falcons, we all know, Coach Franz Pomalan will continue to lead this team and prepare this team in the second round. But the UST Growling Tigers, the youth, the experience of Coach Aldin Ay, and the way he just maximizes players. And CJ Cancino hasn't even broken out in this season.
That's
so a lot
true.
to look forward to.
That's a very good point, Mikey. As always, a pleasure talking to you about the UAAP and about basketball. Again, we just had Sports Desk basketball analyst, former UP Fighting Maroon, Mikey Reyes.